it moves around and stuff, and that's probably why. Look at this, and that bumper even works. Lip wedge. Check this out. Oh, did you see my cool up B? He's got to move like that. He can shoot stuff. Let's check out this up B. So you can see Hulk is just normal. Like he's Donkey Kong. I really like that up B. It's kind of funny. Hello, and welcome to a Brawl modding tutorial. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at a package of files I've put together, which I'm calling the Ultimate Starter Kit. When you download this, you will have everything set up for you to get a running start modding Brawl, downloading mods from the Brawl Vault, and injecting them into your game. The package I've made has the gecko inside of it, a basic set of codes that are already set up for you, like the file replacement code and the character selection screen code, and some bonus goodies. It also has the folder structure set up for at least a basic infrastructure, and it has the Dolphin already good to go with the iOS 36 installed into it. So when you get my Ultimate Starter Kit download, you should be ready to go to follow my other tutorials and create mods and download them from the Brawl Vault. Without further ado, let's get into it, because there's a couple things that I'm quite excited to share in this video. First, we'll get to the downloads. And guess what? There's only one download until we get to later. We're going to be going to something. It is something that I've just made, but I hope that people can maybe give me feedback and maybe teach me how to use it. I'm not a huge Discord person. I use it a little bit, but really I just voice chat with friends. I've never made a server before, but I decided that maybe this would be the best way moving forward, so that if you want to chat with me or other people, you can do it here, and also I can host files here so that you can download them without it being worried about getting lost. So in the description, I'll have an invite link, and you can search for the community as well, and I'll let you in. Again, I'm not super sure on how all this works, so any tips you have would be appreciated. Over here, I've made one of these, and this has the download for the Wacka Brawl ULNSK, which is the Ultimate Starter Kit. And this is just 3 parts of a RAR file. So you'll download part 1, part 2, and part 3, and that's all you need. So join the community, and I hope that this can become something that will be interesting for everybody and help some people out to keep things a bit more organized. Now, you might be thinking, alright, Brawl Blocks, that's nice. CSS Organizer, cool. Super Sounds, we love it. But where'd the Dolphin go? Well, that's why we have those downloads. You will have the 3 RAR files, part 1, part 2, and part 3. All you need to do, select all of them, and extract here. It's not a very large compressed file, but once it's uncompressed, it gets up there. And you will have the Dolphin Brawl Wacka ULNSK folder. And this is very similar to what we've been putting together in the other videos inside of our Dolphin. There's a README here. If you want to read, you can check that out. And then inside of the Dolphin folder, this is already all set up and it's portable. So the first thing you're going to do once you have this downloaded is you can put this this folder anywhere you want. It doesn't really matter. It can be on your desktop or whatever, because the first time that you run this, because it's portable, it's going to update. You saw how you saw something really quickly there? That's because it just updated to this new folder. That's okay. I don't need that. Thank you very much. But this is all default. If you go into Options Configuration, you can go over to Paths, and this is just to make sure that it has successfully transferred the paths to your folder, because you won't have your folders named WackaAlpaca. This will be your username for wherever you put it. So just do a double check that it is pathing properly. It should automatically update, and that will be fine. We'll add a couple paths in here after as well. The next paths we want to double check that are all fine. Under the Wii tab, just go down here to the SD card section that we've used before. You're going to want to make sure that both this path and this path have properly updated. Again, it should be automatic, but it's worth double checking that, and that's all that you really have to check. So we don't have any games or anything in there, and I will not be going into how to get the Brawl ISO, but what you do need to do is add some paths. So we're going to add one for our gecko. You got your desktop, the ULNSK, dolphin, user, load, the SD card, and this is the part where this is already set up for you. We'll take a look more into this to show off what is included in the package next, but for now we're just going to add the folder. So grab the apps, gecko. Once this is here, you hit select folder. You can see gecko is over here, and now you're going to add one more path, and this is to wherever you have your Brawl ISO. I have it in this folder here. I'm going to hit that one for me. Now, we're going to right click on Brawl and hit Set as Default ISO. That's very important that that's checked on. And at this point, you have everything set up. If you run Gecko, it will be just like you're fully caught up and up to date with my tutorials. So before we take a look and jump into it to see what is actually included in the very basic, I just wanted to show off some of the things so that you can see it and where I got them. So we're going to go back into the user, load, into the SD card, and we're going to go first and we'll check out some of the codes, because I've added some extra codes and some nice bonus codes. I don't feel like in the modern day I need to make a video about every single code like I used to. If you have a code, you just need to add it in. I've shown that enough times. So here I've added in a bunch of extra codes, and we're actually going to quickly use Brawlbox because it'll make it looking at them a bit easier. We're going to open Brawlbox and go to the code manager. File, open, desktop, ULNSK, user, load, codes. We can even open the GCT because that is what is on the download that you have. Make this a bit bigger. So I've included some extra things. We have, of course, the file patch code, the SDHC extension code, the replacement soundbank engine code, CSS fixes and the custom CSS, and the independent Pokemon engine. I've also added, which weren't in the previous videos, but they are from some other places, which we'll take a look at the source next, infinite length replays, if that's what you like, unrestricted camera for both the pause camera and the replay camera. I've added in Rumble Falls online waiting room goes on top of Rumble Falls. There is a colored shields code which helps with how the characters' shields are. It will actually color them like what player position they're in or what team they're on. And I just personally like some of these, so you can delete them if you want. And then tripping rate modifier, which removes tripping from the game. So all of these codes are included by default. We'll take a look at those in the game as well. Another nice thing that I've added in here, which was not in any of the videos so far because it wasn't required, but on the root of the SD card, is the root right here, I've added in this game config.txt. This allows Gecko to run basically as many codes as you want. If you don't have this, it might give you an error if you have too many codes, but with this, you can have as many codes as you want. course, in the apps folder, we have Gecko. No big deal in there. Within private, there's nothing in here, it just has the folder structure. So you can go into RSBE, EF, and I've given you some of the most basic ones that you'll need, and what will come up in this tutorial and the next couple tutorials. You'll need Fighter. Again, there's nothing in these. Menu 2, Module, SFX, and Stage. Inside of Stage is Melee, where all stages go, but they are all empty. That's what's included on the SD card. So once you have downloaded that and set up your paths, you can just pop open Gecko. And if you remember, the first time we did this, you would have had to install some things and download a strange extra program and go and get it. So I hope that this makes it a lot more accessible for some people to get started. With no changes to the files or anything, we just downloaded it and now we're opening it. All of those codes will be active and we'll have the full character roster unlocked and expanded. We'll also have all the stages showing. You can see, with all the characters and everything like that. And over here we have all of the stages. So let's just get into a quick match on Corneria. Take a look at those codes that we added, make sure they worked. Of course, the file replacement code isn't actually doing anything for the time being. You can see the unrestricted camera controls are working successfully. And it'll be a little bit hard to test the tripping. But indeed it isn't tripping. And if you saw there, Link's shield was gray, because he is a computer and he's gray. That's the colored shield one, I believe. So all of the codes are working as intended. That is basically a basic Brawl that is hacked. So if you just want to get into the game and play, you could just use that and you have a nice little starter kit for yourself. A quick reminder, in Dolphin you can right-click on Brawl and go Properties. Over here is the file system. Here's that fighter folder. Here's all of the Donkey Kongs. And all of the files in the game are in here. Here's that module folder. So if you ever need something or you're missing a file, you can always extract it straight from the disk. And my second reminder, go check out the Brawl Vault. Get some inspiration. This is where I go to find new stuff, as new as it can be, and get inspired to learn about something. So go through this and visit this every once in a while. I know it goes down, but that kind of makes it special, like a strange island that's on the back of a turtle. We're gonna jump over for some of the things in the ULN, or the starter kit package that I made. I got this off of my old video for Rumble Falls over Wi-Fi Rating Room. These video links will be in the description if you want to put this together yourself. And in this video that I had, it had some of the tripping rate modifier and things like that from this one. Also a shout out, this has been mentioned many places across the internet, but this is the one that happened to remind me. Thanks Cookie Monster for reminding me that I need that file for the game config.txt. That was a nice little reminder, so thank you, I appreciate it. We'll take one last look at our Discord community. For the download, you extract it. Once it's extracted, you got your Dolphin, you link your paths, make sure the paths are working, and then you run Gecko, boom, you're done. For the next part of the tutorial, we're going to be taking a look at downloading some things that I've pre-selected, looking at the files and putting them into your game. We have a little sample of some stages and some characters. These links will be in the description. Here is a Peach's Castle that goes over top of Rainbow Ride. So you can download this. You just click on the name over here and it will take you through. I've already got these downloaded. Here's a more complicated character mod, so I can show you how to put those in. This is a full character mod of Rob, or Gino over Rob. And then, because it was in my last video, there was this stage, which is from a Mega Dimension game, or sorry, Neptunia game, or whatever it's called. And this one's actually really nice, so we'll take a look at this one. And then, because it was also there, I have the Incredible Hulk, which is a very simple, you know, just a model mod. It doesn't have a custom moveset like the Geno one. Once you have those files downloaded, just bring those over. Here they are. You'll have these files, and we can just right-click all of them and extract each to a separate folder. I like to do that. Now we'll start with simple ones and go into more complicated ones. So if you were browsing around the Brawl Vault, you found a cool character or something, you might download it, and the download might look like this. That's great. Great. You don't need to do anything. This is nice and clean and very easy to understand. We know what these are. No big deal. So we're going to go over to our ULNSK and go to our SD card like we learned in the other videos. Go into private, we, app, RSBE, PF, and Donkey Kong is a fighter, so he goes in fighter. Now, we need a folder in here for Donkey Kong. Just name this Donkey. This folder is, so you could just copy it over. But inside of here, if it's like this, and it's fit donkey 00, and there's no funny naming, and you don't have anything already, for a character as simple as this, you just right-click, copy. That guy is done. That was the Incredible Hulk. So that's an easy example of a character. Now, we'll take a look at a more complicated version of a character. This is Geno. And this is a very well done mod. It has information. It has some music that you can put in. If you look at my video where we replace sound effects, it has a bunch of files. It even has different movesets that are compatible with Project M, if you happen to be using something like that. In our game, currently, it's just normal Brawl. It even has If Kirby Eats Rob, which is awesome. Here are some textures. In a future video, we'll get into how to add battle portraits, emblems, and the character selection screen images. But in this video, it's not necessary. We'll just learn how to add things and finish the rest of it off another time. And then there's some Brawl EX files, but we're not using Brawl EX for the moment. So in a case like this, it's a lot more complicated, right? It's maybe a little bit overwhelming. So just try to remember the only things that really matter are the .pack and the .pcs files for a character, for the most part. We'll get into all that other stuff another time, but try to find those files and then now try to understand them. So the Project M file, I'm just going to delete it because we don't need it. It'll help to make things more clear. And here's a special n.chr0. What's that? We can talk about it another time. We can delete that too. FitRobot.pack. We're probably going to need that. That's good. And then this one is 00 pack and 00 PCS. So you need both of those, but you don't want it to have the word red in it. So if they've gone and added naming to it so that you can actually see with the name, you know, like, oh, this is the green one, right? You don't have to open it. That's kind of handy. But before you add it into your SD card, you're going to have to remove any kind of thing like that that may be in your download from whatever character or stage you download. And maybe you don't want all of these. Maybe you just want one of them, and that's cool. It's fine. I'm just going to do the first 5 anyway. Oops. And so we'll get rid of this like that. Now here, bitrobot motion at etc.pack. You remember from my old videos, this has animation information in it and other things. So because this is a custom character, it not only has packs and PCS, it also has the motion. So we'll need that as well. And then here you can see it's maybe some extra stuff, like maybe higher resolution or something. Again, who cares? We don't need that for right now. And I'll get rid of this one because I'm lazy. So we have fitrobot.pack 0000 2233 4455 and the motion cleaned up with the name. Now because this goes on top of Rob, we'll need a folder just like Donkey. For Rob, this will be robot. Again, you can right-click on the disk in Dolphin and look at the file system if you are unsure of what anything is supposed to be. That's a really good way to remember. Now we just copy it inside of here, and bam, that's done. So even a complicated character like that isn't too bad once you understand what you're looking at in the download that you get. Now, we're going to take a look at a simpler stage replacement, although this one is quite a complicated stage and has some really nice files. It doesn't require any complicated things to make it work. You can see it has some HD textures if you'd like to use that. It comes with some songs from the game. It comes with some images, which again, like the characters, we'll get into this in a future video where we change the stage selection screen information. It's really nice when a mod comes with those things. And then it has one version for on Wii and one version for on computer. And you could use either one, doesn't really matter, but hey, since we're on computer, let's use this one. On your SD card, stages go under Stage, Melee. Boom, right here. We're going to copy Stage Green Hill, because that is the stage that this is replacing. We're going to copy it into here, and just like the character, we're going to delete everything except for what the name is supposed to be. Wonderful. Now that is in our game. We'll keep the Stage Melee folder open. Actually, no, we won't. Go back to PF. We're going to do the other stage now. This one's a bit more complicated because it requires an extra file. And I wanted to highlight this because you might come across something like this if you're downloading a bunch of different files. So I wanted to show you. This is a more, and there's a README, which might be actually useful to read. It's a more variations of the level. So like this is like an Omega style stage. This is normal with hazards. This is normal, but the hazards don't work because remember this is the N64 Peach's Castle level, and this is more like a battlefield level. So we're going to try the normal. Inside of this, you'll see some files. You might recognize STG stage xrcruise.pack. Okay, well that's the stage file. Awesome. What are these other two files? Well, if you remember from way back in the day, I had a video on editing .rel files. We're not going to get into that on this video, but if you download a mod for a stage and it comes with a .rel file, then you'll probably need to use it in order to get the stage to work. Why is there two? This one is if you want to use this on if you're overwriting another stage with this, but that's just nice of them to include. If you have, see how the name is the same? As long as it has the same name, then that will be good enough for our purposes here. Where do you put the .rel file? If you see that, then you go to PF, and this is that module file folder. Inside of here, you can put your .rel, and you just copy it, make sure that it's named properly as it was. Now you can go back, go to stage, melee, and copy your stage. Stage xrcruise.pack. Wonderful. We have added all 4 of the mods. A simple character in a Hulk texture, a complicated character with a full character swap, a simple stage replacement, and a more complicated stage replacement. Let's check that out in the game. We need to go back over to Dolphin. We added things to the SD card, so we need to pack the SD card. Go to Configuration, If you're paranoid like me, double check that your path is good. It is. Hit Pack SD card now. Yes. Give it a second. Great. Actually, you know what? Really quick, I want to add from my other old videos, or like the previous videos, a couple of the things from my SD card, since we're already in here. Private Wii. Again, if you have extra things or things that you had lying around your SD card, you can add them in too. But I had some things in my SFX folder, remember? Some funny things, so I just personally have those. And I also had a custom character selection screen, which I watched crash, but I fixed it, so I want it because I worked hard on that. I like to include it. So now that I've added my own little personal flavor, we'll go back in and pack the SD card again. Give it a second, close that. We're going to open up Gecko, and everything should work now. It should all be loaded, and all the stages should be set up. I'm going to go into full screen mode for this. Remember not to hit people with your Wii remote. It's great that we have the unrestricted camera code, so we can really take a look at these stages, like we're going to right now. And we can also see that all of the other codes for the file replacement have worked as well. But by using my starter kit file... Goddamn, that's a lot of characters. Goddamn, that's a lot of characters. And you can see my awesome custom CSS, sorry. Let's do a Donkey Kong. Let's do a Rob. Where is Rob? He's over here. And let's just have a couple Robs. Maybe a couple Donkey Kongs. Why not? Oh, I like the Bumblebee one. And what about that one? Sure. Okay, so we replaced Green Hill Zone with that Neptune stage. And we can check that one out. Look at that, everything worked! You even heard the Yu-Gi-Ohs. Oh, can you believe it? Everything worked. So again, you just download it off my Discord server, hit me up for a link, or however you join one or whatever. And then once you download it, you can add in files as easy as this, and it's gonna work, and we'll be adding to it more and more in the future. Take a look at this sick-ass Geno. I mean, it's got, like, again, it's a full custom moveset. He's got special moves and stuff. This stage is so sick. Check out, like, all these little guys in the background have animations. There's, like, little petals that fall. It's awesome. Alright, so let's get out of this one. Alright.
No contest.
Look how good Geno looks. And the Hulk. This time I'll be Geno. so I can show you some of his moves. It can be Donkey Kong. And then we'll take a look at the Rainbow Cruise, which is the file we replaced. Remember, we had to add the .rel file for this one because Rainbow Cruise is kind of a funky stage. It moves around and stuff, and that's probably why. Look at this, and that bumper even works. Lip wedge. Check this out. Oh, did you see my cool up B? He's got to move like that. He can shoot stuff. Let's check out this up B. So you can see Hulk is just normal. Like he's Donkey Kong. I really like that up B. It's kind of funny. And this stage isn't in the game. This has been added in. It's got that platform moving. It looks visually very nice. I've seen a lot of this stage before, but this one has a nice level of detail that I appreciate. Got... Yeah, you see Gino's cool moves. But adding mods into the game can be just as easy as this, so I could mess around with this for a lot longer. With the custom codes and everything. I hope that you get some enjoyment out of this. I'm gonna close up. How do I get out of this? But adding in files to it is as simple as that. Just make sure to repack your SD card when you get to it, and you too can have the Dolphin Brawl Wacka ULNSK, or the Brawl Ultimate Starter Kit. Again, some shoutouts to myself. Check out my Discord community. This is my first one ever. Let me know if you have trouble getting in or downloading the file, or if you think that maybe I should have certain permissions or lock it or something. I don't know. Give me some tips and leave some comments about what kind of video tutorials you want next. Check out the Brawl Vault. Got some really cool mods this time, and they weren't too hard to add in, as you saw how to do. It was just some of them had some complicated files, some had extra files we didn't use, which we'll learn about in upcoming videos. But get inspired. There's a lot in the Brawl Vault. I welcome you to my community, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope the package that I've made makes this more accessible for some people who just want to get into it, sample some mods, and see if they'd like to learn how to make them. The process would be exactly the same for adding in mods that you've made yourself. So if you follow my old videos using the extraction method from the ISO on Dolphin, you could like extract Mario's pack, do your own mod, and then add it back onto the SD card inside of the package that I've made, and it would have worked exactly the same as what I showed here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this clears up a few things for people on how to download and how to get it working. If you have questions, let me know. Share this with people. Let's get Brawl modding back and revived. Get passionate about it. Take a look at the cool stuff that people have been making since the last time you were doing this, because there is a lot of cool stuff, and we're going to take a look at how to make it ourselves so that you can make some cool stuff too. Thanks so much for watching again. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye.